We have Rifado and Lil Hattrick. Feel free to chime in, guys.
Yo, what's up, fellas? How I'm sounding?
Sounding good, man.
Yo, Jolie, this for you, bro.
Ooh, that sounds refreshing.
That sounds good.
It
does.
I got
What
something
is
too.
it?
I got a miche, but it's not in a can.
I don't even know, bro. A
You
Widmer
don't know.
Brothers?
Mystery.
I don't know what that is. Lo que caiga.
Look at Caiga. So let me go through the list real quick, and then you guys can give me your thoughts. Starting with the goalkeepers, Raul Rangel, who over the weekend had a fantastic turn of events, saving Chivas from tying this game. We'll get into that later. Guillermo Ochoa and Carlos Acevedo. What's that one like lyric where it's like you take me out, but you don't take me out to dance. You just like tease me this whole time. I feel like that's like Carlos Acevedo. Like he always gets on this list, but he has yet to get any sort of look from Aguirre.
I mean, it's does he deserve it though? It's just, I mean, it's so hard because I do think at one point he was one of the better goalkeepers in Liga MX, but Santos is just a mess.
Yeah.
It is just a mess. We got to keep that away from the national team.
Yeah, Santos is doing really
I don't
bad.
know. Acevedo's prime was at 2000. What is it? 2021. But that's when you had you still had Ochoa and then you had Tala, and he was good. He was good for Santos, I guess. But it's just you just looked at him and he wasn't to me honestly he never seemed like a national team guy. Like you know what?
But he's marketable because of his hair.
Yeah, it was for sure. Yeah, when you grow up from that age, me and Joel, it's like we saw Osvaldo, we saw Perez. It was no shortage of guys that you could just fucking throw in there and be a starter. And when Acevedo had those good seasons, there wasn't really anybody else.
Yeah, I think he will probably end up being the third keeper in the World Cup. I don't see anybody else really stepping up. I know people have mentioned like Toluca's goalkeeper or Cruz Azul's goalkeeper, or, I know Rifado keeps vouching for Padilla over there in Athletic Bilbao. But honestly, this seems like it's the only part of the lineup that is sort of solidified these three goalkeepers. One thing
could I interest you guys in Cota?
Nah, no mames, way. His time has passed. He went to a World Cup.
Some leadership, bro. Some veteran presence.
We were talking about this. Cota does not. I do not see him a favorable. He looked decent in 2 games he was playing, and I think I trust him better than Ochoa.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. That means a lot. So out of the 3 goalkeepers, Guillermo Ochoa has 153 games played versus Raul Rangel, who has 11, versus Acevedo, who has 6 for the national team. So definitely the experience factor is strong with Memo Ochoa. On the defense, they actually called up Richie Ledesma from Chivas, Jorge Sanchez, Cesar Montes, Israel Reyes, Johan Vázquez, Everardo Lopez, Jesus Gallardo, and Jesus Alberto Angulo from Tigres. How do we feel about the defense? Are we happy? Are we upset? I know they snubbed Brian Gonzalez de Chivas.
I think this team is gonna go as far as Montes goes, because we know that he's a player that deals with so many injuries. He reminds me of Cáceres from America, where you just never know. Like, you never know when that injury is gonna come up. You just know that it's gonna happen at a certain point. Because I know that he's been dealing with some injuries. He scored over the weekend, but I think Johan Vázquez is a beast, in my opinion. He's a beast. But Montes, I feel like we had him on such a pedestal in, like 3, 4, 5 years ago, but now it's just like, he doesn't give me that security that he once did.
He looks slow. He got smoked. I forgot what friendly I went to cover the Mexican. He looked fucking slow as hell compared to his opposition. And the Portuguese players are fast. I think this is definitely the Achilles heel for the national team is the defense. I know Jesus Gallardo will probably be starting. He's sort of solidified his spot on the national team. And honestly, I actually like the way he's been performing for the national team. And aside from like Johan Vasquez, like, yeah, dude, this defense looks a bit shaky and will probably
here's the issue, Jaime.
Yeah.
Behind those two centrales, who do you have? Reyes at best?
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, Everardo Lopez he made that blunder, right? In like the last going, like he made a lot of like mistakes. He's only had 2 caps for the national team, and it shows. Like he was just nervous. And I know he's a solid player for Toluca, but again, there's a difference playing for El Verde.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's gonna be that. And then we don't have. There's also I don't know. It's just the lack of depth is very concerning. And I don't. It's and to be honest, I don't know unless somebody plays themselves on the team. But I just like I said, this is pretty much everybody that's available. So I think this is gonna be it.
I guess from the defense, like who are we missing?
The only guy anybody was making, and it was mostly the Chief Hermanos, was Cotorro. I didn't hear anybody. They were saying like, how come Angulo gets called up and not Cotorro? But I do not see anybody else that could have made the team.
Yeah. Midfield: Denzel Garcia from FC Juarez, Eric Lira from Cruz Azul, Obed Vargas, Atlético Madrid, Álvaro Fidalgo, that is going to be a talking point, Orbelín Pineda, Charlie Rodriguez, Chiquito Sanchez, and surprisingly, Brian Gutierrez from Chicago. So this is the midfield, and obviously the big story is Álvaro Fidalgo, plays at Betis. This will be his first cap for the national team. They've already been promoting him on social media. Obviously, he comes from Spain, but he became a Mexican citizen, and at the earliest opportunity, Aguirre has called him up to the national team against Portugal and Belgium. What do you guys think about this?
I think Aguirre's going to start him. I mean, you don't call him this late to not play him. And the fact is that Mexico doesn't have another distributor like that. Everybody thought Mora was that guy, but there's no he's availability is the best ability, and he's not there. And it's already we're heading to 0 hours, and then Aguirre sees him favorably. I remember an interview a couple months ago saying how they were saying how Fidalgo had not been in the process and how he fits in, and Aguirre pretty much said like that was going to influence him. If he could provide solutions for him, he was gonna use them. So I'm 80% sure he starts on Saturday.
I thought Fidalgo, even before all the injuries at Mexico at full strength, in my opinion, Fidalgo was the best midfielder, and that doesn't change a thing to me. It's just he's great. He went to Betis, instantly became a starter. I mean, I know that over the last couple of matches he hasn't been starting. I don't know what that is. I don't know if sometimes coaches like to do rotaciones and shit like that. I don't know what's going on right now, but all I know is that if we just bro, there's just nobody better in my opinion.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's a good. It's not your Gabriel Caballero, or I even think he could be he could be better than what Sina was, and everybody always
wow, that's
Sina's
that's a hot take, man.
He's very good.
Hey, Sina did a lot for the Mexican national team. Scored against the United States in qualifiers, scored in the World Cup. Like, Sina, to me, has probably been the best naturalized player that suited up for the national team. He's the only one that's actually...
Yeah, and I think Fidalgo could surpass that.
Wow, that's a bold fucking move, dog. That's a bold statement.
But the thing is, I'm a Chivas fan, but when I was working with the Sporting News, I had to do a lot of live blogs. So I did a lot of She was an America game, so I saw him since he barely got to Mexico with Solari, and you could tell like the guy makes the ball flow, and Mora, we thought Mora was that guy for us, and hopefully he can still be, but we need a guy that fucking que meta los pinches balones entre línea and fucking hook everybody up in the top, and Orbelín's not that guy. I mean, they try to make him that guy, and he's older, and he's definitely not that guy. So I think Fidalgo is, and you know what? I see a lot of people. Oh, why doesn't a Mexican get a chance? You know what? Soccer's globalized. There's teams that have won World Cups with naturalized players. It's not a big deal. It's not, and like I told you, I'm gonna say this again. It's not like you're leaving off a Mexican player that deserves to go. It's like right now, it's the fucking crop is fucking
we lost
kind of empty. So you gotta fucking, and Fidalgo's good. I think he's good. I think he's gonna starting Saturday. I think he might show some spark.
We lost Marcel Ruiz, and that kind of allows Fidalgo to come into the team. And look, I understand his significance. I don't think America wins those 3 titles without Fidalgo in the lineup. However, that's America, right? Like, has he ever interacted with anyone outside of the America guys, right? Like, how is he going to gel with Brian Gutierrez or Orbelín or Obed? Like, he doesn't know anybody on the team. So
hey, but
that's going to be the...
He just got to Betis, and he's doing well. So, and he hasn't been there long. It's just the guy is just... He's talented. He's talented, and he knows how to spread the ball around. I think he just needs to get it to the guys.
Yeah. I think, there's going to be a lot of attention on him if he ends up getting the start against Portugal and Belgium. And, if he plays well, then they'll praise him. But if he does remotely bad, they're
going to hang him.
They're going to be like, don't bring him back to the national team. But yeah, I agree. We don't really have much of a crop to choose from. Charlie Rodriguez seems like he's going to the World Cup, whether we like it or not. The one that does not convince me is Chiquito Sanchez, bro. What are we doing? We're not doing anybody a favor just calling him up.
Dude, I don't even know, bro. Cause part of me is like, yeah, let's keep him for Liguilla, but I'm like, he doesn't even help in that department. Like, he's ass. He's trash.
Yeah, dude.
Well, if Mora or Chavez come back on, I think Chiquito's the sacrifice man.
I hope so. Well, I mean, again, do I need him for Liguilla, bro? If we even make it, first of all. But like, he just doesn't do anything, man. Like, I'm telling you, they give him like the super soldier serum over there at Pachuca. If he was at Pachuca, I'd be like, yo, this dude's a starter. But he's not, and he's ass.
Yeah, I don't know why he keeps getting called up to the national team.
And you remember there was a moment where, ¿por qué no meten el Chiquito, making him seem like he was some sort of savior, but then everybody eventually saw he's just another guy.
He said something at like a press conference maybe 2-3 weeks ago that it made me think that Aguirre might have already told him like, hey, you're gonna go. And this was before this was before Reese tore his ACL. Like, he said something like, I don't even know what his quote was, something like I can't wait to be there or something like that. Like, it didn't sound like he was, how some people try and hype themselves up or like try and will things into existence. It sounded like he was like, no, I'm gonna be there.
There's like a minimum quota to have a few America players on the World Cup roster. That's probably what it is. But there's also
anyway, three midfielders well, for sure Edson gets healthy, he's gonna come back. That's a given. Then Luis Chavez, he started practicing, and I don't think he played, but he's already active again. And there's also I don't know about the situation with Romo. He's also on the radar.
I was gonna mention Luis Romo because if he is clear to play, I know Aguirre likes him, and I know he would probably he might bump somebody off from the team if he's good to go. And back in the day, it was always like Luis Romo and Charlie Rodriguez, players that consistently got called up for the national team, and we were all just scratching our heads why, right? But something with Aguirre, he just trusts those guys. He likes those guys, and if they're available, he's going to call them up. But Luis, ¿cómo se llama? Is it Luis Chavez, the one that's in Russia?
Yeah,
Dude,
Yep.
like, I don't know what the fuck he's done since that goal in the World Cup against Saudi Arabia. Like, I have not kept tabs with him. I know he's playing in Russia, but that's about it, dog. Like, I don't know if
But
he's...
you know what? Prior to the injury, I mean, he was stepping. He found a slump after the World Cup. They were saying that he was living off that goal. But then he moved to Russia, and he was like he was stepping it up. And then 9 months ago, he got that. Well, right before the Gold Cup. Yeah, he got injured, so that kind of derailed him. But I mean, if he shows he's in shape, I take him.
I think it's just like a one-hit wonder, man. He did great for the time being in Qatar, but I don't think he's a guy that we can like rely on.
He's not a difference maker, in my opinion. I mean, a lot of players aren't, but like he really like outside of that goal, does he have any like wow
Merit, yeah.
Yeah, like any performances where you're like, wow, he played a great game. Like he just runs a lot. He's been linked to America, and I'm just like, bro, no, like leave him over there. I want somebody else.
You know, it also didn't help that, he started coming on. He was already like 28. So it's like, what is it around now? Like 30, 31 or something around?
He's 30 years old. And,
he's not a young chicken.
I think the real tragedy here is not Luis Chavez. It's the fact that we're not even mentioning Elias Montiel, who I thought was going to be a shoo-in for this World Cup maybe like a couple years ago or even a year ago. I don't know what the fuck happened to him. He fell off the face of the earth. He had that.
And you could throw in that boat. You could throw in Fidel Ambriz. Fidel Ambriz was a guy, everybody thought he was going to be,
facts.
He was going to be the next great export, and that guy kind of fell off.
Jaime, that's what I was going to ask, because I don't have the list in front of me. Was Montiel called? No?
He was not. But I would like to get in real quick.
Go ahead.
Everyone.
Welcome, Rifalo.
What's up, Rifalo?
Thank you. But Montiel, he just came off the bench for Pachuca in their 1-1 draw, and he immediately scores a goal. So, I mean, like, this guy is going to make a case for himself. Maybe he's on the outside looking in, but I wouldn't count him out. He was really good about a year and a half ago, doing standout performances against, the likes of Real Madrid. And then he had, like, a muscle fatigue injury, and then he was injured for a period of time, and now he's back. And over the weekend, he came back with a bang. So, watch out. Watch the fuck out for Montiel.
I think it's too late, bro. I think he misses his opportunity.
Maybe. You're probably right, but I think if he keeps it up, because like I'm saying, man, I think he subbed on in the 68th minute, 65th minute, around there. In the 70th minute, he scores a fucking goal. So like, what a way to come back from an injury. So bravo to that guy, still super young, and if not this World Cup, the next one.
I'll be honest,
and their coach hyped him up too. He said he was like a great player, like a difference maker.
For sure, man. I believe it, dude. The trouble, I think, is that they played the fuck out of him, and for about 2 years. And so also, like, Pachuca was dog shit for a little bit under Jimmy, basically after Almada left.
Rufado, what do you think happened to Ambriz, Fidel Ambriz? And everybody was also, Chivas wanted him so badly. And then that's the only reason Leon didn't sell him is because supposedly they were gonna sell him to Europe, and then eventually he kind of fizzled out.
You must be baiting me, because I know that any young player that goes to Nuevo León goes there to die, and that's exactly what's happened to Ambriz.
And it sucks because he looked legit. He was like, I thought Chivas really wanted him real badly, and
well, he's at Rayados now.
Yeah. Which just doesn't make sense because Leon said that he was only leaving Leon to go to Europe. So yeah, so I don't think Nuevo León is Europe.
What I was gonna say is, injuries aside, like players that are typically called up for the national team, I think whoever was called up for this camp, that's it, man. This is like, because think about it. Our next window after this isn't till May, right? Like, I don't think we have any friendlies in April. if we do,
No, the camp starts, I believe, the first week. The camp for the Liga MX players begins the first week of May. There's already teams that are kind of supposedly Amauri told Basco that he could take all the players he wanted, but then I'm reading other that since Chivas looks like a legit calendar, like they wanna go back, they want to have their guys, and also Cruz Azul doesn't want to let Charlie and Lira.
Cruz
So
Azul just came out today. They said that those were just rumors that they
okay,
support the
then
national team. Yeah.
I guess the first week of May, that's when the camp starts, and I'm pretty sure in that camp you might see some other faces just to fill out the camp, because the European guys cannot join to the international window. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna call some he's gonna probably call some guys that were on the outside looking in, for maybe a Montiel could fit in for that camp, because he's gonna have to have some bodies there. So you don't know what could happen in that camp.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the remaining friendlies for Mexico before the World Cup, the ones against Portugal and Belgium. And then you got to fast forward all the way towards May 22nd. They'll play Ghana in El Estadio Cuauhtémoc. Then versus Australia in the Rose Bowl on May 30. And then June 4th against Serbia, to be determined where, but it will most likely be in Mexico. So we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 friendlies left. And like I said, if they're not in this list, I don't think they're going to like make the final cut. Yes, they might be used as sparring partners for the concentration camp, but I don't think that anyone that is trying to get on this World Cup roster that didn't make this lineup, I don't think they're going to be considered. That's just me being honest. Obviously, like Hinmora, we still have to wait on him. Edson Alvarez, Luis Romo. There's a few players that are injured. Santi Jimenez was asked not to be called up. But assuming those guys come back to the national team, I think this is it, man. I think these are the players that Aguirre is seriously considering for the World Cup. Let me get to the strikers, and then we'll finish up here. Piojo Alvarado from Chivas, Germán Beterame from Inter Miami, Julián Quiñones, Alexis Vega, Memo Martinez, Raúl Jiménez, and Hormiga Armando González. So those are your strikers. And I think out of this group, you could probably kick out Memo Martinez, right? I don't think he's going to the World Cup. If Santi,
No, definitely not.
Yeah, if Santi gets healthy, I don't think Memo's making the cut.
Even with Santi, it's gonna be like how many center forwards is gonna take? He's not taking 4 of them.
I don't know. I mean, what, they can take 26 players now, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't start. He doesn't start 2 forwards. I don't know about that. But it's and then though here maybe Chino Huerta, but he's injured, and I haven't heard anything about him. So there's that, and then Lain's definitely he's missing his second World Cup.
Linus?
Supposedly he was being disrespectful to El Vasco in a practice, and Vasco just fucking told him, "You're fucking gone."
Yeah, it seems kind of obvious at this point that Linus will not be going to the World Cup. Anybody that we're missing here from the striker pool, I think, Quiñones is a shoe-in, Raúl Jiménez is a shoe-in, and probably Santi Jimenez if he can get healthy. Alexis Vega, obviously, as well.
But it's just knowing Aguirre's ways. I think I don't think he should go, but just knowing Aguirre, and let's say if Berterame plays this weekend and he scores a goal, if he scores a goal, I think he's in. I just think he's that type of guy that type of guy that Aguirre. I mean, Aguirre took Guille when Guille wasn't supposed to. So there's always that with Aguirre.
Habibi's on. Habibi, got anything to add?
I would say I'm not a Berterame fan, but he's done well with the national team, the minutes he's received. So, I mean, I wouldn't think it's a crazy thing to take him
Yeah, he does well in the associative aspect, which is something that Hormiga lacks in. So he has that for him, and we know Aguirre values that a lot.
Berterame has 8 national team appearances, 2 goals, and Hormiga Gonzalez has 4, 1 goal and 1 assist. Out of the striker pool, Raul Jimenez has the most appearances, 126, 45 goals, 14 assists. And he will probably be our starting striker in the World Cup against South Africa. Alexis
Do you
Vega.
think Quiñones makes it as an extremo?
I don't know. He needs to be played in his position to get the most out of him. And, I don't know if Aguirre is willing to do that.
So one thing I just wanted to chime in on Berterame. So the thing about him though is that his momentum has stopped. He has 5 matches in the MLS, 0 goals, 0 assists, and he's got honestly the best lanzador, the best playmaker in the world, arguably feeding him in a league known for bad defending. So
It's a good point.
he's kind of dead. He's dead in the water right now, and like he's a fucking muerto, and Memote. Memote's hotter than this guy, dude. Pumas just fucked up America, and Memote didn't score in that goal, I don't think.
Bro,
But
all
he-
right,
he-
not
he
not
looked
fucked
good.
up, not fucked. Come on,
Hey, man, and anything other than a win against Pumas is fucking up, dude.
they're doing good. They got the referees on their side.
Oh,
Come on.
stop
Oh,
it.
my
Here we
Oh
go.
my goodness, we let
Look,
Susie rep.
the only thing Memo has going for him is the fact that he's big. And we don't have that many big players. That's about it, dog.
Hey, and also on Berterame though, let's be honest. Are any of us watching his games? Are we
No.
sure he's not doing the Henry Martin and desgastando la defensa, and that's why he keeps starting?
Maybe, but we need goal scorers, man. And any way you look at it, as a striker, 5 matches, 0 goals, 0 assists. It's not good.
Hey,
It could be lukewarm, like you're saying, but I don't think so.
Rifalo, you bring up a really good point, man. If he can't fucking score in the MLS with Messi on your team, what the fuck is he going to do when he downgrades and joins the national team? Like, yeah, what can we expect from them? So that's a very good point you bring up. However, I think Aguirre, this is his typical. This is the typical Aguirre, man. He's done it time and time again, and he'll probably do it again with Berterame. He'll probably take him to the World Cup. There's always one.
Knowing Aguirre, he leaves out Julian for Berterame.
I don't think so, because he was getting asked a question like that a while back, and he was like, "It's all bullshit. When he's been healthy, he's been here. The only reason he hasn't been called up under me is when he hasn't been healthy." And then I was like, "All right." So he stood on the Quiñones, like I like this guy, and so don't believe the rumors. So I think he's a shoo-in, is what I'm trying to say.
I hope Quiñones goes to the World Cup just because he's killing it over there in Saudi Arabia. And who knows? I'm really excited to see this match against Portugal. We're going to learn a lot from this match. We're finally getting a worthy opponent, a team that's ranked in the top 10 FIFA Coca-Cola rankings. We haven't had an opponent like this entire cycle, I feel like. We've been playing against fucking Iceland and shit. No, this is a legitimate contender. And
The last one I can remember is Germany in Philly with Jimmy. I don't know if I'm mistaken.
And Bate too, with I think Chiquito scoring.
a header.
Yeah, and they left. Yeah, and I remember coming on here and saying, "Oh, it looks very promising," and then fucking Lozano shits a bed.
That's the goal that has secured Chiquito's spot on the national team. That he's still living off of that, kind of like how Chucky Lozano was living off that.
So the thing about Chiquito is that he runs, man. He runs a lot, even for America right now. Except right now he looks like a headless chicken. But Aguirre, like you guys have said, if he likes you, he likes you. One guy who I thought had a stellar weekend, Efrain Alvarez. He's not called up. And instead we got fucking muertos like Berterame and Memote. We could use someone like that, but I don't know, man. Like you were saying, Aguirre stuck in his ways.
Rifado, that would be way too many short kings, bro. Like we have too many of them, which is again thank God that Linus isn't getting called up. Although I think he's probably the best one out of the group. But man, just imagine a lineup with Efrain and Lainez and Eric Lira.
What's wrong with
Like
the
it
short
just,
kings, dog?
bro, nah, man, not.
Berterame is 5'8", dog.
Huh?
So like, get
Wait,
one
who's
5'8".
5'8"?
Berterame.
Yeah,
He's not 5'8".
yeah, but I think average on most teams is about 5'11". But I mean, it's who matters. But it's just the way that the game's evolved, where it's become very physical,
Might be he's 5'9".
and
I'm sorry.
it's yeah, and it's like a lot of emphasis on like the dead ball and corner kicks, free kicks and all that, and
Dude,
that's
holy
where
shit, he's 5'8". What
He's
the fuck?
5'9".
He looks taller.
5'9" on a good day.
Man,
okay,
you can't
5'9"
trust
is
those height sets. I went to the doctor the other day. I've been 5'7" my whole life, and she swore I'm 5'9". I was like, ain't no way, lady.
you
But
gained 2 inches, bro, and you're complaining.
I mean, it's a lie, man. I've been
How
5'7"
you
my
know?
whole life, but she
Oh, but how
insists
do you
I'm
know?
5'9". I don't know.
Take a measuring, bro. Maybe you've had it wrong all this time.
Maybe.
No, cause then think about it. Orbelin Pineda too. Like it's just way too many short kings. You got to take 3 and maybe
You gotta take 3.
play one at a time.
We got
No
a lot
Well,
more
yeah,
than one.
5'8", 5'9" is not really short, but
Look,
all right, come on,
against
guys.
I know
Korea,
what you mean.
we can bring
Come on.
all the short kings to the Korea game. That's not gonna be an issue.
That's one opponent.
wait, you don't think Koreans have a tall squad?
No, dude.
We could check, bro. I think you guys
It's not
would be
like
surprised.
it's not like they have because I don't know what the fuck they're feeding people in Japan, bro. But in Japan, those motherfuckers are growing. But I think in Korea, they're still.
Koreans too.
I don't know, man. I lost my train of thought. Hey, I had a question for everyone. A historic moment for Liga MX with Paulinho getting called up to the Portuguese national team, and I mean I checked a few sources. This is the first time that this has happened. A player from playing in Liga MX gets called up to the Portuguese national team, and Paulinho said, "Ustedes venden muy mal su país, su liga." What do you guys think about that statement?
Well, he is because Eusebio played in Monterrey, but Eusebio was already he was already retired from
The national team.
he was already retired from the national team in '73. Eusebio got here after a stint in some American league. So he got to Monterrey in '75. So that was pretty much the only other the only other Portuguese reference, and there's been the Jansen guy from Monterrey, then the Polish guy from Cruz Azul recently, and then I think Juarez had a like a Serb or something like that, and then I think the first Euro guy to get called up playing in Mexico was Dumitrescu from America, and I think he made it. He was with America I'm not sure he was. But I think he was with America when he went to the World Cup in '98. So it's like 5-6 guys.
Hey, that's a good trade if you ask me. We gave them Kikin Fonseca and they gave us Paulinho. Like I'll take that all day. But as far as Paulinho, his comment is like I said in the chat. I don't think we sell the league in a bad way. I think we don't sell the league at all. Like what league? How is Liga MX being sold around the world?
It's
How's
not.
it being? It's not.
But even if it was sold, you have this European coaches. They're not gonna look over here. It happened with remember in MLS, Jovinko was fucking setting the league on fire and shit, and the Italian coach basically said, "Hey, he plays in MLS," and he basically just fucking that was his excuse for not taking him. And especially with Portugal, they have fucking guys over there. I mean, why would they look? Why would they look to Liga MX?
So that's my question. That was gonna be my follow-up question. Is it that the Liga MX league has grown in competitiveness and Paulinho's just that good that they just could not ignore the moment that he's in and had to call him to the national team? Or is it kind of like the situation that we have right now with Mexico where the injuries are piling up, we don't have that many resources. So we're having to look at who's available, and Paulinho just happens to be available. Is that the situation in Portugal?
Well, yeah, they had two guys fall off, and when the coach gave his list, he pretty that's pretty much what he said about pretty much made a comment about Paulinho playing over here and using it as an excuse, but then two guys fell off, so he had to call him.
So they
I
had
was
a
gonna
guy.
say, if we didn't even play the game in Mexico, he wouldn't even been called up. Even
Yeah,
despite-
exactly, yeah.
That's a possibility, but there is a dearth. You know, Diogo Jota died. He was a striker for Portugal. He was probably, you know, number one or right off the bench. Then you have this guy, Ramos. He's a striker for PSG. I think they bought him from Benfica. He was wicked hot. Now he's a fucking bench player. And then you have Cristiano, who's injured, right? So like, it's like a culmination of everything that you guys said. They're playing in Mexico. You got someone, you got a mole, someone who understands the league, the Mexican teams, who's used to playing there. You know, so everything is great for Paulinho. And then you know you have the dearth of other strikers that are currently injured or dead. You know, R.I.P. Jota, and you know the stars aligned for Paulinho, and his dream came true. I think he was called up before because he used to play for Sporting,
Yeah.
de Lisboa.
He has 3 appearances.
Yeah, very few.
What about Rafael Leao? I feel like he's also a striker. I know he's at Milan. He competes with Santi. I don't know if he's just also like not having a good campaign, but I would feel like he would be like their starting striker.
He's more of a winger, but yes, he can play the striker role. He's big and he's fast as fuck. The thing about him is that he's having a bad time. The other day, I saw he got subbed off. I think he missed a sitter, and Alegre subbed his ass off, and this guy threw a berrinche in front of everyone. And but it was just like, you know, the culmination of like a bunch of performances going bad for him, and he's not in a good moment.
No, but you see why he threw the berrinche? Everyone thought it was against the coach, but then he was complaining about Pulisic not passing the ball. So like they read his lips, and that's all he was.
Bro,
complaining
I
about.
don't know if that's true.
Hey
He
man,
said
Come on,
Pulisic.
it's my
bro. They
man.
got 1,000 cameras, man.
He was nothing Pulisic. Wait,
Yo,
really quick.
Little hat to defend
Really,
MLS.
really quick. I googled the heights for the South Korean team. So this is basically just 12 players from the Google. Sun Min 6 feet, Jens Kastrup 5'10", Lee Kang 5'8", Kim Min Jae 6'3".
6'3". Hold on.
Look,
What?
look, Jolie.
6'3".
Jolie,
Pronounce
so
them the
I looked
same,
up-
they look the same.
I looked up the last game Korea played. They had 4 players 5'11" and below. The rest of them were like 6 feet. Their goalkeeper is 6'4".
Yeah, there's a bunch of them at 6.
They're tall.
2,
They're tall
6,
as fuck.
3.
Damn,
I know,
bro.
but Mijaime here thinking
K-pop
they're
is
5'6".
taking over.
Dude, I had no idea either. I was like, what? I was like, this
No.
motherfucker's 6'3". I'm like, what the hell?
A lot of teams, if a lot of teams, maybe from, I'll say like maybe from 06 going up, that just became a thing, man. Just get the biggest players, you know, and because you could go back to the older World Cups and you could see more short kings. It was the norm, and all of a sudden they got like phased out, and it's mostly because of the set plays and things like that. Defending corner kicks. That I know that was one of Ostorio's main points of doing that in Mexico. Was his numbers when he was there, they were very good, you know, of like goals allowed on corner kicks or free kicks. That's even how the US are in it, you know, going even further back. That's how they would always get Mexico a lot of times too. You know, with
Dude.
set play.
In the 1998 World Cup, they were the shortest team in the tournament. So that is why I assumed that we were going to have the short king battle in the second group match of this 2026 World Cup. But shit, man, they've been fucking, I don't know what it is, dude. It's the K-pop movement. They've taken over.
Even the Mets team has gotten way taller because those like Campos was like 5'8", Pablo Larios about the same height. Same with Conejo, right? Conejosaurus Rex. But the rest of the other players like Ochoa, they all been at least 6 feet. So you even Max, if you compare to like,
So
you
so
know,
like just to touch on the Koreans, and there's a phenomenon going on in South Korea where the women, since the 1960s, the women have gained nearly 8 inches and men 6 inches in their height, and it's due to post 1960s nutrition. So like historically, they were the shortest groups, and then
Thanks
post
for clarifying it was
1960s,
the height.
like their height exploded, and it's like a phenomenon, like it's a modern, like documented phenomenon, and so
gotta go see
they're
what they're putting on the food, man.
yeah, man, hormones or who knows what else, steroids or
Oh,
something.
drop
Tyson's
some of
chicken.
that. Remember, because I don't know if you guys remember, Televisa would do the goal for the like they would send food to like impoverished places in
Yeah,
Mex.
they would feed the kids.
Oh, every time they
What was it
scored.
called? Yeah, what was that thing called?
It's not
It
Teleton,
was
right?
talking-
Nah.
No, it was
no, it
Gol
was
por
something
Mexico.
else.
Gol por Mexico.
No, but it was called something else too. The box. It was like a box with all type of shit in it.
I remember every
It was
time they
probably like-
scored, it'd be like, "Oh, we just fed like 30 people in this."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What the fuck?" Yeah.
Pack some of that Korean stuff in there. Throw it in there, man. Like 10 years, you go to the Pueblo Mágico and it's all like 6 foot kids running around.
Wow. Yeah, I'm excited for these friendlies starting on Saturday, and then Belgium. Man, Belgium is also, I mean, they're one of the highest ranked teams.
Yeah, they're kind of in a transitional phase, and I say that like they just reloaded because the Eden Hazard and that golden age, those guys are phasing out, but they're still they're still an A-lister, and it's gonna be, and it's a good test.
So right now, Spain is ranked number 1 in the world. Argentina, France, England, Brazil, Portugal is number 6. Holland is 7. Morocco is 8. Belgium is 9. And Germany is number 10. Mexico, for reference, is ranked 16. USA is ranked 15.
Where's Colombia? Because I remember I shared this earlier.
13.
How they have Colombia with high odds. Well, I mean, not high odds, but in the top, I think top 8 of teams that could win the World Cup, and I don't know where that comes from. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, Colombia is ranked 13th in the world. The one that is a head scratcher for me is Italy. They're ranked 12th, and they're already showing off like what could be the World Cup kit. But if I'm not mistaken, they're not qualified to the World Cup yet. So
They're not, and everybody. I don't know. It's just. I don't know. It's a legacy thing. You look at all this World Cup preview stuff, and it's like people have them as a sure thing that they're in the World Cup. That remember that list I shared in December, the 100 players to watch at the World Cup. There are a bunch of Italians, but I don't know. If they miss out again, it wouldn't be surprising to tell you the truth. I think they're just living off their name.
So I have a question. Are the playoff matches happening this weekend?
Yes. This weekend we have action in Guadalajara and action in Monterrey and Europe.
Italy versus Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland.
And it's Wales or Bosnia.
Wales versus Bosnia. And then even if Italy was to get past that, they still have to play the winner of that in the final. Ukraine versus Sweden. Poland versus Albania. Turkey versus Romania. Slovakia versus Kosovo. And then this one is in our best interest. Denmark versus
Denmark,
North Macedonia, and Czech Republic versus Republic of Ireland.
So were we North Macedonia fans? Because we don't want to get Denmark.
I want Ireland, dog. Nomás para la borrachera.
Those guys
Hey,
could give me a
I
drink
say
of.
any year any of those teams they're gonna drown in El Aztecas. I'm not even worried who's
I
gonna
don't
be.
want
It's like,
Denmark.
No, I don't
but
want
it,
Denmark
but
either.
look at the Euro teams did it in Brazil, dude. It's like most of them got exposed. They can't play in the heat, and you combine it with the altitude in Azteca, huh, they're gonna drown.
Didn't Germany win that World Cup in Brazil?
Yeah, but a lot of those teams, a lot of look at England, they got exposed. A lot of
Oh.
those Euro teams.
I am curious, that factor, Mexico. I keep forgetting, we're only going to host group matches and then up to like the round of 16, right? And then everything else for the remainder of the tournament will go.
And then the round of 8, they play if they go in first place, they played in Miami.
Yeah, so everything goes back to the States and you kind of lose that advantage that Mexico had, which is unfortunate. But I mean, don't get me wrong, the weather, the heat in the States will also be pretty brutal unless it's like
In Miami, 100%,
humidity.
100% humidity
Yeah.
in July. So
It have to be.
Everywhere's gonna be crazy. We saw in the Club World Cup all those games
Mhm.
getting.
oh yeah, or I was in
water
Orlando. I was in Orlando when I think what was it? Man City played Saudi Arabia team, and it was a nice weather.
Did you guys see that they're gonna play ads during the water breaks?
I heard about that.
What do you guys think
Didn't
about
they
that?
do that during the Club World Cup? I remember they them doing Powerade ads during the Club World Cup.
How
So
long
it's
is the break though?
they
The hydration breaks typically like what, 2 minutes tops? Like it's not that much of a break.
yeah, it's not like it's not like let's say if they would have instituted the timeouts where a team could purposely cut the momentum. It's just just
But it just
take
feels
a breather and
unnatural,
get back at it.
Like you're in the game, you're in the zone, and then they cut off to an AT&T commercial full screen, not like a little part of the screen, like full screen. It just kills the vibe.
Yeah, I absolutely hate Tu DN. I feel like they always pick the wrong time to do that. Even in the game over the weekend with Chivas and Monterrey, down to the last minute PK, they fucking went to the fans and then they kind of cut into the PK like when he already saved it. It was like, dude, this is like the worst like production
Oh
ever.
yeah, they show that like fat ugly chick, and then Tyler already had the ball and things. It's like, what the fuck? You can even choose a hot chick to at least run it.
Yeah, I have my issues with doing that, and I'm already used to ads running during the game and where they're like half the screen or they make the game super small and the ad full screen. So it can't get any worse than what we're doing with in Liga MX. But yeah, any chance for FIFA to whore out and get more money, they're gonna do it.
Was it the 2022 final where it was like on Fox Sports, and then they switched to a different channel?
I don't remember.
I want to say it happened like an important match
I
in
do.
Qatar.
I will say, yeah, I think it was an English broadcast. I think they like moved it for something else. And then people were like freaking out. And then
They put it on FS1, yeah.
yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm. I want to go.
We haven't talked about Telemundo's coverage. It's just, you know what? It's really disappointing for me. Like I seen what they're gonna have. It's really they don't do anything. I seen what Televisa is gonna offer, and they try to stay hip. They try to they try new stuff. It's really Telemundo's pretty much they just hashed up the Univision people from Miami that got the pool, and they just plugged them in there like Lopez Salido and Omar Tapia, who I don't. I don't like I do not like to point out people's ages, but that guy he misses como dice, ya se le van las cabras. He misses too many names. And it goes for El Perro too. El Perro, who's going to be working for Televisa, who he made rounds last World Cup saying I interviewed him saying it was the last World Cup, but he's coming back for one more. But going back to Telemundo, it's just they're not doing anything fresh. They don't bring you. They're not bringing fresh faces. It looks like they're just pretty much showing the matches, and then Fox Sports. They're bringing Zlatan, who hopefully shuts up Lala's a time or two. So
Dude,
so that's
gonna be
interesting. But as far as
great.
Telemundo,
Zlatan being Zlatan on national television, yeah, I'm gonna tune into that. Absolutely.
did you see the commercial where he says "America, you're welcome"?
I know it was like he took out an ad in the newspaper when he joined Galaxy.
Oh yeah, no, but with this one, they did. He's sitting in a cafe in Milan, and he's telling the American fans like, "Oh, remember the joy of the Olympics, but the ice is melting, and the World Cup's coming, and I'm gonna be working for Fox. So America, you're welcome."
What was the player that sent him an autographed jersey and then he signed it and sent it back?
LeBron.
Was it LeBron? That's fucking hilarious.
Still, my
Albert,
best
to your
personal
point,
moment
though-
of Zlatan in MLS was when he fucking chamaqueó fucking Hercules Gomez. He told him, "Hey, you even played here," and fucking Hercules didn't know what to say.
Oh, when they were having the Bella debate. When
When he tells him
Bella,
Bella, and he's like, "What the fuck?" He's all like, "He's at 29. Where was I?" And then he fucking tells him. Then he goes into fucking destroying the league, and he says, "Look, you even played here."
Wow.
Man, you gotta love that guy. But Albert, to go to your point, man, I think it has to do with the fact that there's no money being made back in the day with bringing all these celebrities for the pregame, the postgame, because that's an older generation thing, to
Yeah,
watch
but
the
everybody else does.
pregame,
Look,
watch
Fox
the
is doing it.
game,
Televisa,
watch the postgame.
Televisa's doing it. It's just Telemundo. Just even I
Well, there's just
remember
no money in
Univision.
it. Most of these kids
They had
watch the
Zanetti. They would
game
bring guys, and
while they're on their
all
phone.
Telemundo does is bring in the same crusty guys, the same Vive Valderrama or Maxi Rodriguez, and I remember watching the Argentina game. The fucking who they Televisa had La Volpe and another like a type A player, and the best Telemundo could come up with was Maxi Rodriguez. Come on.
But everyone's
So
just moving to that short content, man. Like
so
me,
so
I never seen CBS Sports Golazo, but I
I
always
I,
see like random clips of it.
I disagree, Habibi, because like we're in the like golden age of podcasting, where like, someone like Joe Rogan puts out like a 3 hour episode, and people like millions of people listen to it, or at the very least hundreds of thousands. So
Yeah.
I
Millions listen to Cantina every week.
there you go. Us as well. We're right behind Joe. But my point is that like long format talking about going like in-depth analysis, like all that stuff is popular. There's so many different accounts that pirate Football Picante or la Última
Última Palabra.
and you have like 3 or 4 accounts. Some of them will hit like 100,000, 200,000. Imagine during the World Cup where there's more interest. Like it's a great opportunity, but it goes back to what Paulinho was saying and what Jaime was talking about, where like Paulinho was talking about how we don't do a good job of selling our league. You said we don't sell it at all. I wouldn't say that we don't sell it at all. It's just that it's the fucking Wild West, and we have all these different owners going in different directions. We complain week in, week out about all the different apps that we need to watch the league. We have so many teams spread out throughout so many different apps. Like it's hard. You have to make an effort. You have like why would the neutral jump through all these hoops to be able to watch Liga MX like in its current state? It's just not feasible. And so like I think that's our fatal flaw, the fact that it's basically the Wild West in Liga MX, and it has been since time immemorial.
I want to add something. During the last World Cup, I felt like Univision and TUDN had to overcompensate for the fact that they don't have World Cup rights, and they did a fucking fantastic job with all the people that they were able to acquire for the post game and pre-game, especially that show like the Maestros, and it was all the coaches talking tactics and all that. La Volpe was on there, and Camoranesi was on there, and all these like former, Liga MX coaches and all that. And I honestly, that was like my favorite part of the World Cup, was like hearing those conversations. from their perspective. And, you know, I think when you're in that World Cup mode, even when the game's over, like we're still have like lingering thoughts about the game, or we want to hear people's takes, or we want to just, you know, dissect the game. So absolutely, like post-game coverage and pre-game coverage has to be on point. And I do agree with Telemundo. It's like, I'm not going to go there. Like, even though they have the rights, like, nobody's interesting there. They got no one. They make no effort. And, you know, you flip the channel to like ESPN or to it's the ESPN Deportes, mind you, and through the NF to get that post game coverage, or just to, you know, and now with, you know, the American, I don't really like watching the American coverage, but, you know, if you got Zlatan, like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna fucking tune in and see what he has to say, because he's gonna be fucking hilarious.
Like last World Cup, on Peacock Telemundo, after the main broadcast, and they had their little round table. They had a post game wrap up show, but the thing was, it was just a bunch of no names. It was a bunch of people that you didn't know. And then I would see the TV, and it was the people that would do commercials and shit. And I guess they fit the casting, and it's like they really don't put an effort into it. And this World Cup, you know, being that it's a home, they should have put some fucking fresh faces. And then Ana Jurka, which was like I believe the Hondureña, which was one of the reasons I'd watch. She's not even there no more. So
The
it's
show
like
I liked
it's real
was
lacking. And then one thing I want to know, I haven't seen Cantor on any of the advertisements. They're featuring
Yeah,
Omar Tapia. I don't know what's going on there.
he's old, man.
he has his own. The show I liked was the one from Televisa with Pelaez, La Volpe,
Yeah, Los
Camoranesi.
Maestros, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the best ones, dude.
It was.
Man,
Yeah, and they
you're
filmed
new-
it in Azteca
if
because,
you're new-
well, you know, Televisa doesn't have the budget it
Yeah.
used to have, so they would film it during the night and
Yeah, but the breakdowns and
in
everything.
Azteca, and it was cool because that's how they could get everybody from the local scene on.
Yeah, I'm saying if you're new to that, a lot of them are on YouTube. Go rewatch those, and you'll learn a lot. Like just
Hey, don't
football
watch the
wise.
Jimmy Lozano one, because that's where he fooled us all. When he came out with his 30-man
He-
national
he
team.
never-
Oh yeah, when he put his team, and then when he came on board, he didn't call most of those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
but you know, there's more to that. Huh? Because they sabotaged him, man. He got sabotaged. The
Nah,
whole
man,
he
he's
has to
writing
take
names on
youth
that
to
board
Copa
of
America.
15-year-olds we never heard of, and then he becomes a coach, and it's the same old people.
Yeah, I mean, just the politics of it. I don't think he got a fair shot.
It's fine.
Nah,
He
that was
wasn't
just
the
him
guy.
lying on the job application. He was saying he had experience, he didn't.
There's a lot of coaches though that have come in the way he did, and you know they do okay, but you need backing from the board.
Well, he hasn't
know.
even found employment since that, so that speaks volumes. I don't know. Is he
But
even coaching?
No, he
It-
got fired
that's
from
how it could
Pachuca
be.
before Liguilla, man. That's all you gotta know. How you get
Yeah,
fired
but I
before
mean,
Liguilla?
look at Piojo though. If you see Piojo was when he started, you know, his first years, you would think that guy's not gonna go anywhere. And he ended up having a
Yeah, but
pretty good
Piojo has
career
fucking
as a
balls
coach.
and a personality. Jimmy's just a little bitch, bro.
Jimmy was doing fucking
I
TikTok
can't argue
dances
with
like
you
a
there.
moron.
Jimmy's a little fucking bitch, dude. I'm fucking ashamed that I share the same name as him, bro. Fucking embarrassment.
Ah shit. He did do the whole thing though. He went to, you know, get some courses in Europe. He you know, he was doing the step by step, the you know, the by numbers thing.
Nobody wants to hire him. That's how bad he is. He's been out of a job for a
Because
year.
of the bad press. Yeah, it's a lot of bad press he got, and then you need a good what is it called, promoter to get you into those teams. Ouch.
I want to go over some Liga MX results that we had over the weekend. A lot of goals. Necaxa got a victory over TJ 3-0 on Friday. We don't have Abdias on tonight, but his Cruz Azul couldn't handle Mazatlan. It was 1-1, and
Oof.
they had to get that equalizer late. Not sure what happened there, but that allows Chivas to maintain their first position. Atlas got a 0-0 draw against Querétaro. León
Wait,
beat San
you,
Luis.
you mean regain, right? They weren't in first. With this win, they went to first.
I mean,
Yes.
it helps us build that padding between first and second place.
No, I'm saying before Chivas beat. No, they tied. They tied Monterrey.
No. So Chivas.
No, wait, they beat Monterrey. They beat Monterrey.
Yeah, so what happened is Chivas had a makeup game against León on Wednesday. They won that and got moved into first position.
That's when they. Okay, I forgot about
And then
that.
over
they,
the
Okay, yeah.
over the weekend that
Alright, I get you.
3-2
Forgot
victory.
about the León game?
Damn, seen
Dude,
it.
that was the
Yeah,
Cesar
that's
Chavez
right.
treatment game. How you forget about that game? You can't forget about that game. There's like 30 shots in that game.
5-0.
I didn't see it, bro.
And it
I
should have
didn't get
been
to see it. I did see the goalless on X.
and it honestly it should have been
Yeah,
should have been more. Should have been 10-0. We wasted too many chances. I'm looking at you, Sandoval. But you know, I don't know if Leon's just like doing really, really bad. But I wrote an article on Twitter about how I don't feel too bad about us losing too many players to the national team because we get to see players like Gamberos, Padilla, and the sort of leadership from Sepulveda and Ricardo Marin. So I feel like even if we do lose, 3 to 4 players, maybe 5 if Romo is healthy, it's going to be an exciting Liguilla. We're going to see a lot of players that have been biding their time that want to, stand out, and we'll see if we can get the job done. But I will tell you, that game against Monterrey, we're up 3-0, coasting to another 3 points, chilling. No business that game creeping up on us at the end. As soon as they conceded that goal in the 88th minute, I'm like, oh, fuck. This is Monterrey. They're at their house. This could get ugly very quickly. And that's exactly what happened. They quickly scored 2 goals and then a third if it was not for Rangel with that amazing stop at the end. But I was extremely furious on the way we closed out that match against Rayados on Saturday.
I have 2 questions. Well, actually, I don't know. It might just be one. But first of all, it seems like Chivas has they're a team of 2 halves, and what I mean by that is that they seem to play well in one half, and then the other half they play bad, or at least very different. Another thing is I saw a lot of discourse surrounding that penalty, and a lot of people were basically saying that that penalty saved by Tala, that right there cemented his starting role. And do you guys agree with that, or do you guys still want to see him against Portugal and maybe Belgium?
Well, I think he gets the start against Portugal. That what that I think more than anything, I think that penalty block that reassured him, and hopefully he takes it to the next level. And it was like it was an impressive stop because he stopped the ball cold. He didn't give it a chance to rebound. He fucking stopped it cold, and then it's just a fucking moment, what it meant for the result, and then fucking Milito fucking hugging him at the end. I think if there was an issue with his confidence, I think that gave him a fucking boost.
I think it's his job to lose. I think Aguirre doesn't want to just bring in Ochoa and just give him the job and create some drama. So it's like, look, if you keep playing well through all the games, you're the star in the World Cup. But as soon as you fuck up, I'm bringing in the veteran, and no one's gonna complain either. I wouldn't complain. Tala has a big thing about like spitting the ball out on those low shots, and I hate it. It seems like he always spits it out towards the middle. And I feel if he does that in one of these games, it gives you the perfect entrance for Ochoa to get the starting role. And I think most Mexicans won't complain because Tala's, I don't know, man. I don't think he's that impressive. I think he's just a good keeper, but he's not like elite.
Yeah, definitely. I don't. When you compare him to other Chivas goalies like a Cota or even a Michel or stuff like that. I don't think is on that
Waldo,
level. Even
even like
Talavera, who wasn't successful
Jesus
with
Corona,
Chivas, but he
Ochoa.
grew
don't
to
see
be
it.
a very good goalie.
Y'all need to put some respect on Rahel's name, man. He's been solid for Chivas. Most importantly, he's a player that can handle the ball on his feet, which is required in the modern game. You can't just toot it and boot it anymore. You actually have to learn how to play from the back, dribble sometimes, and he's got that. And he's also very, very good in the air. He contests balls, something that Ochoa does not do. And he's the tallest goalkeeper out of the three. He's 6'3". He's young. He's hungry. And I think that save against Monterrey validates his current form. You have to acknowledge it. He is a difference maker. He was in that game. The game against Leon, he could have been reading a book and probably still got a clean sheet. But against Rayados, he was tested and he came through. And I hope that Aguirre makes the right choice, acknowledges the form that he's in, and is our starter for Portugal. I do not want to see Ochoa even being teased or considered, because then you lose all that from the I think the fans will back you, and if Aguirre says, hey, we're going to go with a veteran, with Ochoa for this match, the fans are not going to let that go. They're going to want to have him for the remainder of the friendlies and probably starting in the World Cup, just because of the historical, reasonings and how he always shows up every 4 years. But right now, our best goalkeeper in Mexico is Rangel.
And the media is backing him as well. What surprised me about the TUDN broadcast is that they were saying, "Este es el portero de la selección mexicana," and I was like, "Oh, damn!" Like they do see him as a starter. So, and there's that whole Chivas Televisa drama of us leaving to Amazon. So they usually like shit on Chivas players, but for them to be hyping him up to that level, I was like, huh, maybe Tala's already won the national press over.
Bro, you guys haven't really had like any players to like praise in a minute. Now you do. So it's like I don't think they were shitting on Chivas players in the past. It was just like you guys didn't really have anything.
Alexis Vega. Back in the day.
What's the name?
Back in the not so long ago, and era un pinche borracho, bro. Like,
So Chiquete Orozco for a long time.
yeah, he was on for a while. Or the guy that plays for Leon. What's the name? The Chaparrito. What's the name?
Nene?
Fucking...
No,
come on,
Nene was on fire for a while. People wanted him on the
otro
national
inflado,
team.
bro.
Hey, but talking about that Leon game, man, that goal from Bri, the fucking Chai Rat kid. Holy fuck, dude! What a goal from outside the box. I think that's why he got called up, man. And I love what he brings to the table. Watch out for that guy.
Me too.
He can run, dude. He can run into space. He's tall. He's strong. Good touch, and he's not afraid to shoot. He's exactly what we need. And then with Marcel out, with fucking Fidalgo not being a real Mexican, I think the road is clear. He's gonna get a real shot. It's his to lose as well. We're talking about Rangel. He's got it. Guti, he's got his own battle. It's not about starting. It's about getting called up. But I think right now his spot is his to lose.
I'm actually bummed out because I was really going to rely on him to lead Chivas to a title. But the way he's playing, it sounds like Aguirre's probably going to take him to the World Cup. We'll see.
Oigan, on tal Guti?
Yeah, he's
on the bench.
Vanished, homie.
No. Wait, what do you mean? No. The
Eric Gutierrez?
Yeah. Where's he at?
So
he's vanished.
Him and Pulido were.
He was complaining about not getting a shot, but Milito doesn't consider him for anything.
Before the season started, Milito said that him and Pulido were not going to be considered for the team. They're still registered for Chivas, but they're not.
Wait, Pulido's still on the team?
Yeah, they weren't able to sell him or whatever.
What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and Milito doesn't want him because he's indisciplined.
I don't know.
The thing is, I followed them both on Facebook, and Guti will upload like stories at Verde Valle, like training by himself.
Yeah, he's still training.
And Pulido will be like something like with a rapper.
I don't know what
Hey.
happened with Guti, man. I think they were gonna try. Was he linked to San Diego, and then the deal didn't go through? So then now they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, he was gonna come play with Chucky, yeah.
yeah.
And so Novia got kicked out, so they fell off.
Hey, 4 years later, can we safely say that El Pocho Guzman was overhyped just because of the state that Mexican soccer was in? And a lot of people sold them as, Mexico would have done differently with El Pocho Guzman in the World Cup, and then he goes to Chivas and he just fucking shits the bed.
Hey, pinche Pachuca,
No,
güey,
no, I
look
don't
at
think he
their
shit the
last
bed.
promising players. Look at Pizarro, Rodolfo Pizarro, Guti, Chucky, Victor Guzman. Who else have they sold us as the next thing?
But which one
Jurgen,
was the one?
Jurgen.
Which one was the one that did
Jurgen.
cocaine?
Pinche Pachuca, man, they
Victor
do well
Guzman.
with
Ese-
that,
ese.
and then they
Okay,
fall
Victor.
off.
Then Kevin Alvarez, they sold him as the next
Oh,
fucking
Kevin
great
Alvarez,
fucking right
I'm
back.
telling you, those motherfucking Pachucas, man, they know how to sell. But
I told you, bro. They got him on something, on some hormones, EDs, something.
Elias Montiel. Yeah, dude. The list goes on and on.
Victor Guzman was good. It's just, I guess, it's indiscipline. I do think
He's,
he could.
he likes putting nose
Yeah.
candy.
Well,
I
he
Yeah,
also
that
heard
ruined
he
his
was
good-
drug tested. Once
I
he
also
got
heard
drug
he beat
tested,
up
he fell off.
Paunovic.
That was the rumor.
Well, he did look like, I think he had a cut or something, like when he did he did a press after a match, and it looked like, I think they had gotten into a scuffle.
Yeah, and then they said it was something else, which I call cap. But yeah, I think Chivas you have to acknowledge the form that they're in. And I know he's super green, but Campillo, man, I would have loved him for the national team.
Campillo should have gotten a look.
Yeah, he should have gotten a look, man. And Brian Gonzalez too.
Just for the fact that Campillo could fill in, he could fill in the back, and he could fill in as a defensive midfielder.
You know,
He could do.
Mexican
I'm not
defender.
comparing him to Marquez, but he could do that stuff.
Yeah, I don't think there's a better Mexican defender than him right now. I think he's that guy. I think he's in that flow state.
Cotorro's in the flow state right now, and I don't think he got a call up, right?
Nope.
I think that's the biggest fucking snub.
It is a big
because
snub.
He had a great goal. He's just been so wonderful for us, and he's competing against what's his name, Piloncillo Chavez, who's in AZ Alkmaar in Holland, and then he's competing against Gallardo, right? And then another guy that was called up is Angulo for Tigres.
Uh-huh.
And he
Yeah,
can
that's
play
guy
center
makes no
back.
sense.
Yeah, center back and left back. I think the fact that he can fill multiple positions.
Oh, okay,
is
my
why
bad. Yeah.
Gallardo- Is why Gallardo likes him so much. But he was dog shit over the weekend. I think he gave up the penalty in the Tigres loss, or he was in the fuck up for the Tigres loss over the weekend, man. I don't know, man. And this just goes to show you that fucking Gallardo. I mean, Aguirre is a fucking necio, dude. He's just fucking stubborn, man. He's gonna choose whoever the fuck he wants. Form be damned, and Angulo is a testament to that.
But you know what? That's what it is with every coach. Remember, fucking Tata was fucking hell bent on fucking calling El Chaca Rodriguez. That was fucking trash. But that's with every fucking coach. They just like a guy because I guess they have a good rapport with him, and he does what he asked them, and they'll just keep on fucking calling him.
The selección needs a pelón, dude. Always.
So
I heard a saying once about a pelón, and it's el que anda de pelón agarra viejas a lo cabrón. I wonder if it's true.
Let's test it.
another thing that I forgot to mention about the match against Portugal is El Azteca getting inaugurated again. From what the leaks have shown, looks like they actually did do a pretty decent job modernizing the stadium. I mean, we'll see what it looks like on Saturday.
I saw a lot of tweets. ¿Y cuándo lo remoledan? Lo arreglan. I mean, it looks the same. They just fucking give it a paint job. What they should do is just fucking tear that shit down and fucking build a new one.
What was that, Habibi?
Is it a soft opening or a grand opening?
It's a grand opening. It's the grand reinauguration of
Fully ready.
of El Azteca, now known as Banorte.
It looks ready.
Is it fully ready, like max capacity, everything?
The only thing is that they have issues with the parking. Fans cannot park at the stadium for the game, but everything else is they already released a list of eateries in the stadium, so it's a full go. Hey, they have a Panda Express in that fucking stadium.
Highway.
So my gripe is that they've carved away at so much of like the seats to make room for all these amenities, and like the 100,000 plus stadium of like the past where they were right on top of you. That Azteca doesn't exist anymore, and so
No, and it wasn't when they did that renovation where they put those
NFL?
canopies in the bottom. That's when they got rid of
Yeah, it's
a
been
bunch
like
of
that
seats.
for a long time now.
Well, wasn't it like close to 120 at one point? Or when it inaugurated?
I think
Yeah, it was around there. Yeah, it was up there with El Maracanã.
No, Maracanã was 2, man.
2.
But
Oh, no, I mean Maracanã was 2 like in the fucking 50s. Though.
it's like 80K more. It's huge. No, but it's just the cost. You know, it just having those really big stadiums cost a lot of money. So they're at like 87,000 now.
Yeah, and
I
the money now with stadiums, when we see it here, is having those luxury amenities. That's what That's what it happens everywhere. It happens with the Crypto.com Arena, the former Staples Center. They did a renovation to add these new suites that every new venue is, because that's extra revenue. Those are premium seats, and that's what you have in El Azteca. You know, you have these suites where you sell them at a premium.
Yeah, that's where I went to. That's like the old stadiums used to have cheap seats, you know, like in England, and they were just like the bench type,
Or like
and
standing room.
Yeah, it was people wouldn't sit there, but they would just stand, and they just started doing away with that, and they've priced out so many people. But that used to be something that you could like you could go every other week. Now it's like you probably have to save to go to one game a season or something like
that's with
that.
all the sports. Everybody's prioritizing high expensive ticket sales. Like I personally with boxing, they would give us. I saw Canelo versus Mayweather ringside. I was like 5 rows away. Now they don't have a. They maybe have one row for like the VIPs for like the TV and stuff. But then the rest of the media, they're in the beginning of the lower bowl. It's like the whole sports industry is just optimizing how much revenue they could get, and that's why we see more expensive seats and more premium experiences.
I'm looking forward to seeing El Azteca on Saturday. It's been a long time, man. It's almost been like, what, 2 years since we've seen a match there? And I know Diaz is happy because
they're finally going to get a house.
They're going to get a house. They announced that it's going to be Atlante, America, and Cruz Azul sharing that stadium.
That seems like a packed weekly schedule.
My question, though, is Atlante, have they secured their spot in the first division?
Yeah, it's going to be Mazatlan.
Really?
Yeah, Mazatlan is in their Cockroach FC is in their swan song season. Next year, they're going to become Atlante.
Wow.
They were saying that Morelia was going to buy Puebla too, because Puebla is valued at like 120 million.
Yeah,
really?
130 around there. Yeah,
that's
you're right.
hella low.
Yeah.
But they said that
too, yeah.
that they're not going to move the team though. That they get whoever they sell to, they can't move the team. So I'm a little confused on how that's going to work.
Then it's just change of ownership. Then it's not like they're going to refranchise.
Yeah, because Puebla, they consider them as a heritage team, you know. And
I would not want to lose Puebla.
Itself, it's an important market.
You cannot have Viernes Botanero without Puebla.
So the sale did not include facilities, or that appraisal did not include facilities or the stadium.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Yes.
I think because they don't own it, that's why. Like it belongs to the state or something.
Yeah, the state has ownership of it.
Wow. El Azteca is going to have Cinnabon. They're going to have...
Oh, and a Shake Shack. Imagine a fucking Shake Shack.
Wingstop. Panda Express,
The
Pizza
Shake
Hut,
Shack?
Subway, Shake Shack, Nations.
like-
Oh wait, Nathan's. Damn, son.
Nathan's hot dogs.
I want to see the bathrooms.
Wait, what about tacos, dude?
The
It's
bathrooms.
Tio's is like gringo food, no Mexican stuff in there.
No, they have some stuff called farolitos, a bunch of
Tortas.
local eateries, I guess.
But they're not mentioned, bro. Like
Uh,
they're
And
gonna
they
have to
got
be in
the
carts. They're gonna be in push carts
maruchans
on
on
the
tap.
side.
Yeah, man, that
Maruchan.
sounds too American for me. I don't want to go
You're
to
right.
Azteca
Other
and Subway
Mexican
is
stuff.
my option.
Hey, you know what? I went to a Cholos game last year. It was my first Liga MX games. Man, you fuck. It's you only wish they would be like that in MLS. Colitas de puerco, fucking jumbo sized bags of generic chips and fucking Doritos and fucking. Oh, it's fucking heaven.
Enchiladas.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Las pinches colitas de puerco. It's literally what it is. It's the fucking pig's ass. It's the fucking the colita. It's les echan ver mucho pinche limón and fucking.
Yeah.
It was expensive for that. It was like $12 bucks, but it was a good snack watching Luca Romero fucking score against fucking Cholo.
yeah, the experience I had at Estadio de Deportes was terrible. That place sucks. And I'm so glad that after this season, no more. Going back to La Azteca.
Isn't that stadium in the middle of a neighborhood?
Yeah. I just didn't like the stadium. It's a shithole.
It was like from the fucking 40s, I think.
It's terrible, man. That shit's old, antiquated. The seats were designed for people from that era. They're not built for the Gordis, the FC Gorditos of the world.
They're not big man certified.
So Puebla's up for sale. Mazatlan is getting diminished. Anything else that's happening? Like, are they going to expand the league to 20?
They should. I just don't know who.
I think
but
they
No,
should.
I don't think any expansion. I think that's pretty much.
Leones Negros
It's
can
just,
go.
it's just when they went to that American business model. This was it. It was 18 teams with no, and then but didn't I hear that supposedly relegation was coming back in 2 years?
That's what I heard.
That's what they say. Who knows?
I think I think Atlas is for sale, no?
Excuse me.
Atlas?
Yeah.
I think Atlas is for sale too.
Didn't they get bought?
No.
No, they're still in the process.
I thought they were bought.
What about like the multipropiedad de
Like,
Puebla y
they did get
not
bought.
Puebla, León y
León.
Pachuca?
Or was it Puebla?
Supposedly Leon was going to be sold already.
Wait, we talk. One of these clubs got bought by some dude that owns a
Querétaro.
baseball team.
Querétaro got sold.
Querétaro was bought.
Oh yeah, it was sold there.
I thought it was Atlas for some reason.
Atlas, there hasn't been any movement. Not that I'm aware of.
Who's their sister club? Santos.
Santos.
No. This is Querétaro. Is the Mark Spiegel, the American.
Hmm.
This owner is a Mexican dude who has a lot of contracts with the Mexican government.
No
He's
shit.
done a lot of construction. Like he was involved with the train and a bunch of stuff. So he seems to have money, and he bought a baseball team, I think, in Monterrey.
It's gonna be cool to see Atlante back in the first division, and who gives a fuck about Mazatlan, honestly.
But I don't get the hype of Atlante. This is fucking a bunch of old, to use the word you guys are a bunch
Here
of
it is.
boomer
Wait up,
fans.
guys, 'cause you guys-
from the
you guys- I
Tito
feel like
Tapito,
I'm
Wait,
from the-
is
it's a-
Jaime
it's a-
Bermudez
I feel
still
like I'm
playing?
getting gaslighted. Hold on, gents.
What?
Here it is. José Miguel Bejos, dueños de los Pericos de Puebla. So he's agreed to buy Atlas for $200 to $250 million.
Really?
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, they forget about that because we're bullying
See,
them.
yeah. So this guy might, but it probably won't go through till next season. But he's seems to have some money.
And
So,
I'm pretty sure that includes a stake in El Jalisco, which is also owned by. It's still owned by. It's owned by Clubes Unidos de Jalisco.
yeah.
So Atlas has a
Does
stake and
Chivas
Chivas
still
has a
own?
stake in it
Does
too.
Chivas still involved with that?
Yeah. It's that's why they call it the second house. Yeah, they can fucking use it whenever they want because
No, but
they
is
have a
it the
stake in it.
club? But does the club? Chivas might not have a stake in it. It's probably the club, the former club socios, because I remember when the OmniLife was built, they were having a fit because all these socios that sold their palcos or their, you know, all the socios that sold their stake in Chivas, they still had like their like season tickets. They still have like their shit set up at the stadium where it's like you make money because is you could sell those tickets
Hmm,
for whatever event is being held. So
not sure.
I
No, it's still owned. Chivas still has the stakes
They
in it.
still have a stake in it.
There was a Canelo fight or a concert, and they had to move their game, and they moved it to Jalisco. And I remember reading the article saying that one of the reasons they were able to do it is because they have ownership in it.
That was the one that Peach got fucked over in. I think that was the one.
they
Where,
wouldn't
Yeah,
serve him
I
the cup
remember
of
here
noodles.
that the majority stakeholder of Clubes Unidos de Jalisco is Leones Negros, then Atlas, and Chivas is a associative partner.
Damn,
yeah.
Leones Negros.
Leones Negros, man,
Fucking-
they're ready to get promoted to the first division. They're one of the few teams that are like have the infrastructure, they have the money,
well, yeah, they have the stadium.
they have the
They
stadium.
should
So
make a
I would
push,
like
man.
them. And then, for more sentimental reasons, I would love the team from Zacatecas to get in the first division. But that'll probably not happen. But I think they're one of the few teams that is also like ready because like there was like requirements, right? Like you had to have a certain amount of fans in your stadium, like capacity wise. You have to have money, you have to have a following, and there's like only a handful of teams in the second division that are even eligible to get promoted to the first division. Atlante was one of them. Leones Negros was another, and Los Mineros de Zacatecas as well.
I'm still a big believer that we need a beach town team like La Paz in Baja California.
Oh, that'd
or
be dope.
Cancun FC. Away game with a family, vacation on the beach, and
I
then
mean,
Like
Chivas.
Mazatlan?
Mazatlan, it didn't work out for them, bro.
That's because
that
it's
city didn't look
Mazatlan,
evil.
man.
It didn't
Yeah,
look
but Mazatlan is
bad.
grimy, dude.
Yeah, it's violent and grimy cartels and shit.
Mm.
La Paz, Baja California sounds a lot safer, a lot
Veracruz,
more family
man.
oriented.
That was
Veracruz, Jaguares, in Chiapas. Yeah, I don't know. We need to bring back those.
Supposedly Oaxaca, they had the Alebrijes, and
Yep.
supposedly they were gonna build a themed stadium with indigenous influence. Like it was gonna be like a whole fucking experience. It was gonna be based off of the handball game, but nothing ever happened.
I feel like Oaxaca is more popular basketball and baseball.
The
Soccer.
Oaxaqueños like the Short Kings love their basketball.
They
Go
do,
figure.
man. I have my suegros from there, and he surprised me when he said basketball was like his favorite. I'm like, what the how? Like, bro, you don't have the. I don't know. I don't know what's going down over there.
5-1.
Yo, we didn't even talk or acknowledge Champions Cup matches, but holy shit, the drama that we saw in these matches last week was beautiful. We had Cruz Azul and Monterrey duke it out, and Cruz Azul go through to the quarterfinals. America was able to hold on to their 2-1 lead over Philly Union. And we a surprise on the MLS side with Inter Miami getting eliminated by Nashville. But the two that we need to be looking at is San Diego FC, right? They won their first game 3-2, and everybody started freaking out. And I was like, dude, they're gonna go to Toluca that has the highest altitude. They're not gonna be able to handle it. And that's exactly what happened. A 4-0 molly-whopping over San Diego FC. But really, like the real gem of the round of 16 was that Tigres Cincinnati match where Tigres had to overcome a 3-0 aggregate, and they scored 4, but then Cincinnati pulled one back, and then in typical Liga MX fashion, Fernando Gorrian scored at the last minute and put them through to the quarterfinals. Did you guys catch any of these matches? They were fucking great.
Yeah, that San Diego loss, it all of a sudden it raised questions in San Diego whether it was wise to shut out Chucky. Maybe Chucky, a guy like Chucky, could have helped them. So now they have those doubts that maybe we do need Chucky. So which Chucky is pretty much, I don't think he's going to the World Cup. So he needs to.
He's laughing his way to the fucking bank. He's like, "Oh, you're not gonna call me up for this? I could tell you. I could give you some pointers." No, all right. Well, I'll collect my paycheck and just.
He's gonna pay like $7-8 million a year just to chill.
6-7, yeah, just to fucking kick it in San Diego.
What were you gonna say, Rifado?
I was gonna say, man, that Tigres game, it was lovely, dude. It had everything, man. I was on the edge of my seat. They dominated, but they were down by so many.
Yeah.
And so when Cincinnati scored 1, they were ahead on away goal.
Yep.
And so, Tigres had to put all the carne in the asador. I think at one point they had 3 strikers on the field, and then Gorrian, from outside the box, scores like a low, beautiful shot, and it was very dramatic. It was great. And but the reoccurring theme in all these matches involving Mexicans is that they put the game away in Mexico, and so it tells you like there's a huge discrepancy in Leagues Cup. Like, it's just not fair. It's just not fair for one team to be all in the U.S. or one tournament to be all in the U.S. It's a crazy advantage.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you have like these San Diego fans saying, "Oh, well, at least we took the first leg." Well, no, it's not a fucking. It's not about fucking winning one game. It's like that shows you that still, they don't get. It's a fucking series. That's the way the Mexican teams plan it. You play the first one, away, you try to get the best result, and then you fucking head home and you play with everything. I mean, it's not 90 minutes, it's 180 minutes, and that's why that's the reason we still see fucking Mexican teams dominate. And I don't, honestly, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't know how much of a difference it's gonna make when MLS goes to the European schedule, and they're not gonna have that excuse that, oh, we're still in preseason. I really don't see it being much of a difference.
I think all the MLS teams were heavily exposed in those second legs. They're not used to that animosity. They're not used to that kind of environment. Let's be honest, man. MLS is soft. It's a soft league. The fans, like, they're not intimidating at all. Like, you're not going to go into a match and get, that kind of intimidation factor. It's not going to happen in MLS.
But they're self-policing, because as soon as you start fucking saying F this, F that, they'll fucking jump on you. Oh, no, we don't do that here.
They'll even give you shit for lighting up those like smoke bombs and stuff. Like, I've covered a few Earthquakes matches, and like
it's a family environment.
Yeah, the security will get on your ass for doing that. I'm like, bro, that's part of the fucking game.
I think I don't know. I was gonna remember this back in the Chivas USA days, and when they used to play against the Galaxy, the Chivas, they had a section that were like the Chiva, like but they follow Guadalajara. They're like an ultra. I don't know. You remember?
That's where it was originally. It was, I think, La Monumental or something like that. It was the teams it was the La Porra de Chivas in Los Angeles. Okay,
yeah,
it was them.
They had the giant flag that covered that whole section.
Yeah, they did. And then eventually, what happened was the group split up because it was like there. From within that group, there was a group where the Chiva Mayor comes from, where they actually became Chivas USA fans, and the other guys were just Guadalajara fans. So let's say Chivas Mexico would play a game in San Jose, and Chivas USA had their season opener. The Union Chivas Union Chivas Ultras, they would fucking go to San Jose. So they started fucking splinter. That's what
I
they started
remember
splitting up.
that.
But yes, they had their section. And I remember like I bought tickets with the Ultras to go watch a Galaxy game.
Yeah.
The Clásico Angelino or whatever the Super Clásico, whatever the fuck it was called. And I remember they treated us like fucking criminals. They had us meet in a fucking in back of the stadium, and then they fucking escorted us in, and they put us in one of the corners of the stadium, and they had fucking security like we were fucking criminals.
Yeah.
Well, that's the environment you want over here, no?
Well, yeah, it wasn't bad, but
they made it lively, man. And I remember they would use the flag, and then they would light up their flares.
oh yeah, they do all that. They fucking throw shit to the fucking and those guys were fucking like the original Union Ultra. Those guys were fucking wild. I remember I was going to East LA College in 2004, and I don't know, remember the Lowe's Cup? They would have games between las like the fuerzas básicas, the equipos de Mexico, like Cruz Azul, and they would have them, and then they would play like fucking local teams, like Cruz Azul, Chicago, like local independent teams. And I remember I was fucking, I went to go do a little story for the school newspaper, and I fucking sat near the guys with the tambores, and he tells me, oye, ¿tú le vas a Chivas? And I went, Chivas, sí, qué bueno, si no te vamos a partir en la madre. Okay.
Hey,
so I mean that was so obviously when Chivas, when the people that we know as the Union Ultras split off, so those characters didn't make the transition.
What were you gonna say, Habibi?
No, I was gonna say, I mean, it's just the pros and cons. You know, like MLS, you can show up with your 7-month pregnant wife, your 2 kids, and watch a game. You go do that to a Monterrey game, they're gonna beat her ass. They don't care if she's pregnant. So it's like, what do you want? You know, over here's like corporate slap on the butt. Here's your orange slice, and down there is like, you know, belt to ass.
Like I remember the raciest thing like ever happened was the LA Riot Squad. The LA Riot Squad showed up to a Clásico with because Joe knows Chivas used to have like they had the first like cheerleading squad in MLS, and there were a bunch of hot chicks. So they showed up with sex dolls and then said Chiva girls. I think that was like the spiciest thing I ever saw.
Well, we don't even have to go that far back. At the beginning of San Diego's last season,
there was a fight, but you know what? That was mostly fueled between by the San Diego Los Angeles fan rivalry because
all the MLS fans, you know, their heads exploded. Like they're doing the homophobic chant. They're doing flares. Like, what is wrong with them?
Well, it was it was your AY soccer mom crowd. Yeah,
and it's like you guys invited the Mexicans into MLS. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah, so I mean, look, the league itself, it's just not built in a way for them to handle that kind of adversary on the road, and all those teams look really bad. Shout out to Philly for actually holding on to a draw, like they weren't defeated. But everybody else, I mean, San Diego, Cincinnati caved hard, like mad hard. And now,
does the Pocho still play for Cincinnati?
I don't know, right? Because
was it Brandon? Was it Brandon?
Didn't he go to another team though? Because he went to Rayados, and then Rayados, I don't know if they sold him back or he went to another team in MLS.
I gotta check.
Yeah, but everything's very balanced in the quarterfinals. Nashville will face against America. LAFC versus Cruz Azul. Toluca versus LA Galaxy. And Tigres versus Seattle. Everyone kept mentioning like Seattle's like the only MLS side that actually looks convincing and strong. I don't really keep up with the league, so I can't speak to that. But honestly, I can see this being an all-Mexican semifinal.
We finally get that Cruz Azul Champions League visit in Los Angeles, because I don't know if you remember they were supposed to come in 2020, but then the pandemic hit and they fucking scrapped it.
No, they played, but it was a one leg. It was a one.
It was a one.
Yeah.
No, but they didn't play it in LA, did they?
I don't know where they played, but I remember that because of COVID, it was just a one single game elimination match,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah, okay,
Carlos
yeah,
Vela
makes sense.
scored. Yeah. So Cruz Azul looking to get revenge against LA. Toluca actually last year played against Galaxy in the Campeones Cup, the winner of MLS versus the winner of Liga MX. In dramatic fashion, Toluca won that match. So there is a little bit of history there with LA Galaxy. But I think the match, honestly, in the quarterfinals will be Tigres and Seattle.
Yeah, I think I think that's a series where you think the winner is definitely a candidate to take it all.
Yeah.
Because
speaking
Tigres
of
doesn't have many
Tigres,
seleccionados, do they?
no, they don't. And I also bring that up, in that game against Cincinnati, Ociel Herrera, Lainez, they both started.
Yeah.
They're both Mexican.
Yeah,
Ociel Herrera, he scored.
He showed me something.
Yeah, he scored 2 goals, and you didn't really like hear much talk about him. And I was just thinking, like, is it their sin of playing for Tigres is that they have all these really good guys like Bruneta, Gorarian, Guignac, Correa, that when the Mexican player does something like that, score 2 goals, is the mindset that he did it because he plays on a stacked team, so it must not be that hard.
Yeah, because I remember when Fulgencio was having his moment, and he's very good, but a lot of people didn't give him that much credit for that exact reason that you mentioned. Like when you talk about Tigres, you talk about them, just the solid base of extranjeros they have. So you don't put too much attention to what the local guys are doing.
Yeah, Habibi, you bring a good point. Got to acknowledge Osiel Herrera's form, and the fact that he wasn't even called up for this is, I mean, that pretty much says, hey, we're not considering you for the World Cup. But I much rather have him than, I don't know, Memote. Like, to be honest, even though he's not a striker, but I feel like he's grouped in with like the delantero pack.
I'd rather have him over Piojo Alvarado.
Damn, come on, man. Piojo, I get it,
It's
though.
just I don't know, he just doesn't and it's just I don't know, he just doesn't I like him, like I like Reynoso, a team guy, or remember how was the name of that defender, the captain, fucking what's his name,
Hector Reynoso?
Jair, was it Jair?
Jair Pereira?
Yeah. That there's guys that you like them for the team, but just not the national team, and that's Piojo Alvarado. And I remember after the last world, after when they got eliminated from by Argentina, I remember I was watching Jorge Ramos and su banda, and the Venezuelan chick just fucking worked them like you look at who Argentina has on the bench, and look at who Mexico has on the bench. Piojo Alvarado from Chivas, and just fucking, and I think
Damn.
that just stuck in my head.
Yeah, we gotta realize Piojo is like two stories. Like he's the story of when Chivas was ass, and it was him, and like just everyone expected him to do everything. But he's never been like the main attraction. And now that he's surrounded by a good team, good quality players on Chivas, like he's doing well. He's playing well, but he's never gonna be like the face of the club. And I think with the national team is the same thing. He's a role player. He fulfills his role. Is he an international
Like
player?
Aquino, yeah.
Correct. Is he
I
an
think Aquino did
international
more
player?
for
I
the
don't think
national
he is.
team.
Nah, Aquino, nah.
I don't know,
He was
man.
just a good cog, a good piece in the
To me,
system.
Piojo's like, like Paulo Aguilar, like really good. Well, no, actually, Paulo Aguilar was really good at his position, but it's just a player that you just knew was not gonna go international, was not gonna go to Europe, but he just got the job done. Do I think there's better guys than Piojo? Probably. Would I be mad at Aguirre taking him? Not really.
Yeah, Piojo, when we traded, was it Antuna? We traded him. We were like, damn, we got the better end of the deal. And then Antuna ended up started killing it for Cruz Azul. And we're like, shit. But, I respect Piojo. He's definitely a locker room, what do they call him? Like a class clown. Like he pranks everybody. And I think that's also important.
Los animadores del vestuario, como le
You
dicen.
got to have those fuckers on the team, man. Like to balance out the seriousness of the thing or whatever. Like you need that player. And I think that's probably why he's being considered for the national. He's always been considered for the national team.
But the issue is that he might actually be a starter, which is insane.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, bro. The last World
I
Cup,
mean,
he
who else
couldn't
do you have on
even
the right?
he couldn't even lift that ball, bro. No lo pudo levantar. Do you guys remember that when he tried to center it,
Yeah, I remember.
I've seen that a bunch of times.
bro?
So
That
that's
like,
why I don't. He's
that
not
was
like I like him, but
crazy.
I don't think he's national team guy.
No, I agree with you. I don't think he's that international caliber player. But at the same time, I don't think he's dog shit either.
I don't remember. Did he play in the World Cup?
He did.
Yeah, he came out. He came out as a sub, at least for in the Argentina game.
Damn, I do not remember, dude.
Yeah, he was not good, man. But that also tells me that Pinche Tata sold out because that's the game he puts him in. Pinche
Oh
culo.
yeah, he's fucking and then he fucking sits fucking Edson. He puts in fucking Guti. Don't get me started on that fucking game.
No hay que hablar de cosas tristes, man. But yeah, Piojo, like it or not, is going to the World Cup unless something changes between now and then. We just have to make peace with that decision. Osiel Herrera, though, I am disappointed that he didn't get a look.
He has to be on the radar for the next World Cup. He has to be. I mean,
I don't think so.
Well, that's what we said last time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think he's.
No, but he kind of fell off. He was getting called by Coca, obviously, because Coca knew him, and then
his mistake was going to
that
Tigres.
summer of 2023, he was getting called up, and then just like Victor Guzman, they fell off.
Yeah, his mistake was going to Tigres.
If Osiel Herrera was playing how he's playing right now at Chivas, he'd probably be on the World Cup roster. He'll probably be on these.
Any club in Liga MX except for Tigres, man. I just feel like you go there, yeah, you get a nice pay cut, but what you lose out on is minutes, and that's like look at how stacked they are. They have Lainez, Cordova, they have Osiel.
No, Cordova's at Toluca now.
Oh, that's right. Well, I mean, at one point they did, and they had Antuna. It's like, bro, it's like.
They had Nico Ibanez before he got sold. Yeah,
it's like, dude, you're over there. Yeah, it's a fat contract, but are you okay with getting no minutes? Like,
I still remember the sad case of Espiricueta.
Yeah.
That kid he was never gonna make it.
What about Chicha Sanchez? Too green.
Yeah, and everybody was singing his phrases like, "Oh, Chicha Sanchez," and another Mexican casualty of Tigres.
He got red carded over the weekend and could also be attributed to their loss.
And Fulgencio too. Everybody was singing Fulgencio's phrases, and just kind of teetered off.
Yeah, you look at was it the Under-20 World Cup, and it was like Chicha Sanchez and that dude from Pachuca, ¿cómo se llama? They were like, huh?
Montiel?
No. He was like
Alexi
Dominguez, yeah. And then you had like
and then Fimbres from Monterrey too.
And then you had the guy named Pachuca as well. Yeah, there was like a lot of these players, and you're like, none of those guys are going to the World Cup. The only one was Gil Mora.
Everardo del Villar, Lopez del Villar for Toluca.
Oh, okay.
Midfield over this past weekend in the 1-1 draw, but I believe he was called up. No,
Everardo Lopez, he's called up.
Yeah, so there's a U20 kid who's just we don't pay much attention to the defenders, but there's a U20 kid playing for the Bicampeon, and is good enough to like not be overlooked by Vasco in spite of his young age.
Well, we're at the 2-hour mark, so Rifaldo, do you want to go through your Jóvenes rundown?
Hell yeah! All right, let me go ahead and get started. Okay, so for Jornada 12, the Clausura 2026. There was 59 U23 Mexican players who saw game time, representing 21% of the 278 total registered domestic players. So this is a big spike. It's usually at 15%, sometimes even 12. I think we're getting to the end of the regular season, and all teams are trying to meet the metric or meet the number for the Jóvenes rule. So the pick of the litter, Elias Montiel, already went. How he came on in the 68th minute or 65th minute, immediately made an impact by scoring a goal in the 70th against Toluca. Not an easy team to score against. Elias Montiel might be a little too late, but let's say he scores fucking, I don't know, 5 more goals, looks exceptional for the rest of the season and in the postseason. Maybe Vasco calls him up. But there's a guy who was unlucky, got injured, and was out for a bit, but he's back and he came back with a vengeance. Watch the fuck out. Brian Cotorro Gonzalez, the greatest tragedy in this call up, because he wasn't called up. He had a great goal for Chivas in their 2-3 victory over Monterrey. This guy should be on the team, especially because Angulo is trash. So Brian Cotorro Gonzalez for Chivas, been amazing. And then, of course, Armando Hormiga Gonzalez. I think he's got 10 goals now in this tournament. He just can't stop scoring. And he's amazing. I guess, like, if he keeps it up, like, the argument should be not if he goes, but does he start? So, he's just on fire. I already mentioned Brian Gutierrez, another great player. He had a goal against Leon, subbed on against Monterrey. You might even argue that he was part of the reason why they scored 2 goals, because we had 2 6s, but he came on and I guess he's a little messy there. I think he lost possession once or twice, and we look bad in that. But he's got a lot. He's got a lot of promise, a lot of ceiling. So that's my pick of the litter. That's the whole witness rundown. Thanks for having me, everyone. Take it easy.
Awesome, Rifalo. That's a massive jump, 20%. And I'm sure that number will increase once they do the concentration camp and we lose our seleccionados. And you're going to have to rely on the bench and the youth. We'll see. Joel, you still on? You got any closing thoughts, buddy?
Still on, man. Yeah, I'll give my flowers to Milito. I think he's shown to be the right coach for Chivas. I remember something La Puente said in an interview about Mexican players needing to be coddled. Sort of like they seem to lose confidence at times. And I think with a team like Chivas, where they're very dependent on youth, it's important to have that type of coach that can get the best out of his players. So I feel this is where this team is headed, where some of these players, maybe when they leave, are not going to look as good. You've seen it with some of these other Argentine teams like Gallardo's River Plate, or even Bianchi's Boca, players that look so good, and then outside of the club, they couldn't match those performances. And sometimes it's the credit to the coach that can get these players to overperform. So I think if this guy can maintain that consistency that he's shown, I could see him being candidate for the national team. Just because he's what he's showing with the club, and what he's showing that what he can do. And we saw it with before the penalty kick against Monterrey, and he goes up to the goalkeeper and he's it's almost like a dad talking to a kid. He was like, I don't know what he was whispering to his ears. But this guy goes on and he blocks the PK, and it becomes this big moment, turning point, if you will. And he's done it to other players though. A lot of times it's just not shown as much, or it's not like leaded into a penalty. So I think, yeah, man, I think for Chivas, whoever brought him in, they did a good job in bringing him as a coach. I think overall the club's been. That's the other part I want to add, because we tend to not give credit to the front office. Only when things go bad, they don't know what they're doing, and when things are going good, it's almost as if the coach came in and did everything himself. I feel that they've been on the same path, and then I think they really knocked it out with this coach, who I hope stays for the long run. Especially now that their former Chiva coach, Matias Almeida, is out of a job. And I think some of these RG coaches are kind of from the same school. And I think I would like to see him back in the IMX. I think he could be a good coach for a team like Monterrey. They can't seem to, if they let him work, I think he can build a team for them and have them playing good. That's all for today.
Thanks, Well. I don't know if I could
You're welcome, sir.
handle Matias returning to coach in Liga MX and not beat Chivas.
And
I don't,
Monterrey. He's going to
With-
Monterrey.
I don't know if his alliance is that strong with Chivas that he would refuse to, but I would love to see him say no, only Chivas.
Yeah, I still believe him when he said if he had enough money one day, he'd buy the team. But building off what Joel said, giving praise to Milito, giving praise to Chivas. I also think that we might have said goodbye to a local coach, one that's in the carousel already, to become Chivas's coach. Because if you look at Chivas in these last 10 years, their major results have come from someone from the outside, whether it's Almeida, Pauno, Milito. And even with the players, they're going to MLS academies, players are in Europe. I find it very hard that we're going to get another Buse, Tena, Piojo, like a local coach. It seems that Chivas has said goodbye to that. Ya todo que venga del extranjero.
Yeah, I mean, including our players, right? We're relying on Mexican Americans that are not homegrown. And when it comes to coaching, obviously we've looked at extranjeros. And this is not nothing new. I mean, look at, ¿cómo se llama? Westerhoff back in 2004 when Vergara took over the team. And we got to a final with him and unfortunately lost in PKs. But Westerhoff had the team playing really, really well.
And he reignited La Cantera. That's when you
Yeah.
really saw the new influx of talent come in.
Exactly. So, I mean, this is not a new thing with Chivas relying on extranjeros for coaching.
Well, one of the legends is he's Hungarian, Peteke. So they've had Fedeke. It's in the Chivas. Americanista fans that could point, oh, you're so Mexican, but your coach is extranjero. I mean, but it's always been like that.
I mean, outside of Chepo, though, in recent, the last 20 years, has there been a good Mexican coach?
For
I
Chivas?
mean, Efrain Flores had his moments, El Güero Real, but
yeah, my bad. Chepo and Güero Real, they're all like in the same period, but I'm talking about like 2012, like till now.
I remember when
Dick
we got
Chain.
an ajedrecista Leaño and everybody thought, oh, wow.
It's the Dick Chain, bro.
Oh, yeah, Dick Chain had a moment. He had his time in the sun.
Last 13 years?
Huh?
Is he the best Mexican coach we've had in the
For
last 13 years?
Chivas, he had the team playing like really, really like football champagne at one point. Obviously.
Yeah, he had a good run. He had that 2002 period, yeah. And then they fired him in after the apertura, and that's when they brought in Paunovic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I will say, with Milito, yeah, you have to acknowledge what a great signing he was. And I apologize. I didn't see the vision in the early goings, but it's all starting to...
I wanted him out.
Yeah, starting to come to fruition. It's because, we had that fucking bum, Oscar Garcia. That guy was a fucking bum. And that guy, he was like, oh, he comes from Spain.
Is
And
the
from
guy who's on Ajax now?
Now he's the coach of Ajax, and he's trying to take Gamberos with him, which is fine. But for Chivas, it just didn't work out. And
then Paunovic too. Paunovic took the team to a final, but then the way he left, like he wanted to get out of there.
Yeah, it's because Fernando Hierro, when he left, that whole project kind of went to shit. So, and he left some other Spaniards in charge.
This whole base is built off him. Everything we're seeing is also thanks to Hierro.
You think so?
The guys he left in charge,
Oh,
players from
there goes the
abroad.
polishing, bro. Come
I don't
on,
know,
man.
man. I don't
No,
know.
dude.
I don't know if we
Come
can take
He
on,
credit for
bring in
that.
bro.
players from abroad, man. He's the one that really
That's too
started
much
pushing the
credit
industry up.
for the guy was there for 6
If he
months.
left his guys, he left his Spaniards guys there. His Spaniard
No,
guys
they
stay
all
there.
got booted. They all got
The
booted like
Spanish
6 months
Inquisition's
after.
over, dog. That
They
is yeah.
got booted 6 months after.
Ya se acabó.
No, he inspired, man. I think him going for those Mexican Americans and everything is the reason.
That
only-
was
He
already
Brian.
happening,
Hey,
bro.
the
That
only
was,
Now we have
remnants.
Peruvians,
that
man. We have
was
Hey.
happening
Peruvians.
already.
The
They
only-
were
He went
doing
from
it.
Peruvians.
The only remnants of Hierro
No,
is Wale. He's the only remaining remnants of Hierro, dude, is Oscar Wale.
When is he gonna start playing? What? Tala's gonna leave and then Wally starts in Liguilla? Like they're not gonna give him regular
We'll see.
season minutes?
We'll see if he gets minutes or if they're gonna go with Dragon. That would be crazy. But
just really quick, that was the whole thing of buying Chivas USA. And that's you're going back to 2020 years, 2005, where they were already planning on scouting Mexican American players. So it
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
that
yeah. That
long.
was that was a part of their Sangre Nueva campaign. Yeah.
Yeah, we
wow.
also got to think it's the money thing behind it. You know, it's the team that has the most fans in two countries. So I think Vergara's vision was, can we be the most popular team in Liga MX and also become the most popular team in MLS? I mean, it was also a money financial thing. Let's not just
Nah,
pretend.
man.
Like
Right,
like
it
if
was.
Chivas USA was going to be
It was
successful,
player
we
transfer.
were about to get Club America in San Francisco.
Yeah. It was more for player transfer. They were going to use that
Nah,
to
mames,
transfer
you make that
players
big
back
of
and forth.
investment, just have a farm system.
They weren't, look, man, if they wanted that team to be popular, they wouldn't have sent a bunch of scrubs. They would have put some proper money and they never did.
You know,
They never
Joel,
did. Every
funny that
time
you
they
talk.
sent,
I was having this conversation with my friend who was the PR. We just had it this weekend. We were talking about why Chivas USA fell, and you just brought it up.
Yeah.
They had no sense of the market. They thought they could just throw Romo and Cuadros and old guys like Claudio and Ramirez and just fucking
and
take
they
over
wouldn't
the
even
league,
send their
and they just
best. They
fucking
wouldn't send their
mishandled
best
it.
youth.
Yeah.
They wouldn't really send their best youth. They would send
No. Panchito Mendoza was at least like the most decent one. Then he had his time with Chivas, and it didn't pan out.
They
But
didn't rate him. They didn't rate him, and then he blew up, and then they
yeah,
brought
that's
him
what
back.
it was. Yeah. But remember who they brought? Isaac Romo. Isaac Romo would fucking send the ball into the parking lot.
What was the fee to get into MLS for Chivas USA? Do you remember?
Was it like 40 million or something?
It was
like
pretty
that?
low at the time.
Yeah,
the
because
time?
they did at that time. MLS was struggling. Like seriously, the two teams had already contracted. Or it was a fusion in Tampa. So I mean, a lot of people talk shit about Chivas USA, but what Vergara brought in money, and then with the Chivas USA, at least for the first two seasons, it attracted sponsors that normally wouldn't invest in MLS, like the Latino brands like El Mexicano, Herdes, and stuff like that. So while Chivas USA was a flop, it had a bunch of positive aspects for the league.
Dang, it says
Now
the
you have
cost to start
LAFC.
Chivas USA was about 5 to 7 million.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot because Antonio Cue, who was
Yeah.
one of the initial investors along with Vergara,
And he sold the team for 70.
and he was able, he recouped his initial 15 million investment. So it wasn't that expensive.
It would have been like $1 billion brand right now.
It is $1 billion brand, but
Well, it is with LAFC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, I think with
So hold on. The point that I'm trying to make is, so Chivas USA came about in 2004, if I'm not mistaken, right? 2004, 2005.
It started in 2003. The idea when Chivas played the All Star, and then they were ready to go by December 2004.
So, but the initial investment of Chivas USA, do you think that would have been that would have been wiser as opposed to going to MLS, basically finish the Proyecto JVC?
No mames, Ron. No
But,
mames.
but Vergara was always even though he didn't execute it right. He was always a visionary. He saw, hey, I have this fucking brand in Mexico, and then I have this, and then he had his along with Chivas USA, his fucking Omni Life project. This fucking you saw a lot of people start selling fucking Omni Life. So he had a whole fucking business vision, which I mean, in practice it didn't go well, but the idea sounded sound.
I'm just saying.
But the JVC project would have been way more money because he wanted museums and shopping centers. So it was other investors that would have had to come in.
So Only Life Stadium broke ground in 2010, right? And so JVC, the whole project where we're talking about the stadium, the Palenque, the library, the museum, the university, the hotel, the shopping center, all that type of stuff. And it seems like with Chivas USA, they went half-assed and it flopped. So I
wouldn't say half. I think they underestimated the league. They underestimated the league because then they tried to turn course and they ran it as a proper MLS team, but by that time the damage was gone. And just to start off, we talked about it, that Chivas branding just fucking alienated so many fans. That alienated hardcore Chivas fans who saw these people as fakes. It alienated Liga MX fans who said, "Fuck, I'm not gonna," especially America fans. It alienated your Gringo fans who said, "Hey, this," because Vergara was arrogant when he got here. It was I remember in the LA Times. I don't know who remembers this. Ya llegó el football, like saying, like, you guys don't fucking know about soccer, about football.
Yeah, they're going to teach him how proper football was played.
Yeah, that's what it was. So he turned down a lot of people.
He sent some picture reserves. He said, "Hey, Savio, you need to refresh my memory. The very first game, Pulpo Zuniga is the keeper, and he goes down within like 5 minutes. I think he does. I remember. And he never played. Yeah,
and he was gone for most of the season too.
Damn.
How injured can you be, dude? He did a save, and that's it. He couldn't get back up. And then I think, and then early in the season, fucking Ramon Ramirez also suffers a fucking career-ending injury, so it was a fucking mess.
Wow.
Then Paco, they forced Paco. He didn't even want to come.
Yeah.
Hey, but Valencia did okay. Once they realized that they had to run the team like an MLS team. So Bradley, and that's how Bradley made it to the national team after the work he did with Chivas USA. That was a good team. I forgot it was Bob Bradley and then his daughter, bro.
So for me, when I knew when Chivas USA they interviewed was it HBO Real Sports? I think it was Soledad. What's her name?
That whole thing with Soledad O'Brien. Yeah, that was a fucking mess.
I let you look like an idiot. That was the worst kind of interview.
And that interview, it was just fucking disgruntled guys. It was just a bunch of disgruntled guys. There were really no basis to their claims. It was just disgruntled guys.
Wait, was that the one where they're saying that they were like racist?
They played the race card and
they said that they were like
Valencia directivo. With his painted nails.
Yeah,
that's the wrong guy to
Oh, I was cracking up when I saw that interview. I'm like, oh God.
Reverse racism.
So I guess we have a failed Proyecto JVC, right? And we have a failed Proyecto Chivas USA. Am I missing anything?
And you have the failed Proyecto with Cruyff too.
Yeah.
Oh God, don't remind me.
Hey, I wouldn't call that a failed Proyecto because he got us to get rid of the turf.
Yeah, we got natural grass.
That's a lot of money. But then Cruyff fucking shitted on the team.
Hey,
like I don't understand the grandeza. You guys don't have so many. Yeah, we know, but don't fucking tell us.
I'll take that win.
Yeah, we got natural grass back, and that we have to thank Cruyff for that.
That's a lot of money to pay for that, though.
So it's an analysis.
And we got a Van shit.
Yeah.
Fucking Van shit. Fucking horrible coach.
Hey, but he's cool though. He did the best he could with what he had, and he still follows the team. He still tweets about the team and shit.
Yeah, he
He
has.
fell in love with it, man.
So as Chivas fans,
Hey, he's been shit for a reason.
do you guys feel that your lideratos tainted a little since America's a little down?
No one's
Do you
even
think,
thinking
do
about
you
us,
think
buddy. If anything, you're thinking about us. Still obsessed with JVC.
oh no.
America's not
I
even going to
mean,
play in Liga at this point. So, yeah, that's the only part that's not satisfying. But
Well, it's par for the course for America. Obviously, they had that fucking hot period, and that's what happened. We saw with Atlas too. It's like you're so fucking hot for a couple years, and then it's just the nature's playing its course.
And I can't even talk shit about America because I watched the second half against the Philly Union. That was one of the worst halves of soccer I've seen probably in the last year. America
no,
had
that's
two
no,
shots.
you're right. You're
America
right.
had
And
2 shots in the second half. And then 2 hours later, you have the Chivas game. They had 6 shots on target, like in the first 20 minutes.
I
Like
know.
it's night and day comparison.
No, I was upset too. And then like the following day, I was even more upset because my Bix wasn't working, and I was trying to find the Chivas game, in the Conca Champions, and I missed it. Does anybody know who won
in the wait, which game?
in the Conca
Chivas got
Champions?
Champions
Chivas in the
League.
Conca Champions.
Hey, Pumas took our spot. Can someone explain to me how Pumas was in it? Because I still
So
don't.
who won the game? Who won the game?
Hey, man, we'll be back in there. We'll be back in there.
Oh,
But right now it's cold up top, man. I know we're starting to get into the warmer
Okay.
climate, but it's cold up in the first position, 30 points, and we've won our last 4 games in a row. So, yeah. It's looking good. Unfortunately, Liga MX is on break for Portugal and Belgium. So we have that going for us this weekend. But yeah, want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. And we'll catch you on the next one.